When you hear the word Panama, let's be real, your mind probably jumps straight to one single thing. You're picturing the canal, right? And hey, it makes total sense. That incredible engineering marvel literally changed global trade forever. But in this explainer, we're going to completely flip that script. Because we really have to ask, is it just a canal? Let's go ahead and intercept that thought right now. Hiding quietly behind that famous waterway is a surprisingly tiny country packing an unbelievable concentration of geographical superlatives. Seriously, prepare to have your mental map completely rewritten. Let's start with this one. Because of its unique kind of S-shaped curve, Panama actually flips the normal east-west orientation of our oceans. Think about this. It is literally the only place on Earth where you can sit in the exact same spot, watch the sun rise over the Pacific Ocean in the morning, and then watch it set on the Atlantic Ocean in the evening. It completely messes with your internal compass. And it gets wilder. Panama isn't just sitting between two oceans. It's a full-on transcontinental country. Its land bridges North and South America together. You literally have the famous Bridge of the Americas, spanning the canal, physically connecting the divide between two massive continents. Now, that untamed geography, it bleeds right into everyday urban life. Panama City is the only capital city in the entire world with a literal, actual rainforest inside its city limits. You can head over to the Parque Natural Metropolitan and see sloths, toucans, and howler monkeys swinging in the canopy, with these towering modern skyscrapers looming right there in the background. It's totally surreal. And the sheer scale of that biodiversity is just staggering. To put it into perspective, Panama as a country is smaller than the U.S. state of South Carolina, yet it boasts over 986 different bird species. That utterly dwarfs the bird biodiversity of the entire United States and Canada combined. No way, right? But the history here is just as full of crazy plot twists. Let's take the famous Panama hat. Plot twist? It's actually not from Panama at all. It's entirely Ecuadorian. But back in the day, the workers building the canal wore them to beat the intense heat. And when U.S. President Theodore Roosevelt was photographed wearing one on site, well, that mistaken identity was sealed forever. Oh, and here's another shocking origin story hiding right in plain sight, Murphy's Law. You know, that deeply cynical rule that anything that can go wrong will go wrong. Yeah, it's actually named after an engineer, Edward Murphy, who was born right in the Panama Canal Zone back in 1918. So basically, every single time you complain about Murphy's Law, you are referencing a Panamanian. This crazy density of surprises really builds into their unique national story, too. I mean, most nations get to celebrate one Independence Day. Panama, they actually celebrate two. The first half of this double independence happened back in 1821 when they broke away from Spain. But then the story rapidly twists again in 1903, this time separating from Colombia. And there's a huge geopolitical reason for this one. The United States heavily supported this second split specifically because they needed Panama's cooperation. So, Panama got its freedom, and the U.S. secured the rights to finally build that famous canal. And honestly, speaking of the canal, 36 cents. Just 36 cents. That is the lowest toll ever paid to cross it. It was handed over in 1928 by this American adventurer named Richard Halliburton. But he didn't take a boat. Nope, he literally swam the entire length, and the authorities charged him based on his body weight. Now, contrast that 36-cent swim with today. Modern cargo ships are willing to pay up to $800,000 for that exact same crossing. Just let that sink in. That massive price tag tells you absolutely everything you need to know about how completely essential this waterway is to modern global trade. But Panama's role as a global connector predates the canal entirely. The Panama Canal Railway, which runs between Panama City and Colón, has been operating since 1855. It is literally the world's oldest continuously operating transcontinental railroad. And it wasn't just industrial cargo moving through here either. Back in the 16th century, this massive, flawless natural pearl known as La Peregrina was found in Panama's Pearl Archipelago. From there, it embarked on this unbelievable centuries-long journey, passing through Spanish and English royal families before eventually making its way to Hollywood as a lavish gift from Richard Burton to Elizabeth Taylor. The ultimate punchline to that Pearl's incredible global journey? After Elizabeth Taylor passed away, this Panamanian treasure sold at Christie's auction house in 2011 for nearly $12 million. I mean, from the waters of Panama all the way to Hollywood royalty. So, when you actually step back and pack all of this together, the sheer density of history, nature, and geography is just wild. We're talking about a country that is less than 80 kilometers wide at its narrowest point. Yet inside that tiny sliver of land, you have two Independence Days, two oceans, a rainforest capital, unmatched bird life, and literal royal pearls. When you finally look past just the canal, Panama truly is a small country with an enormous, incredibly unexpected story. It completely changes how you look at the map. And honestly, it leaves us with a pretty provocative question to think about. If a country this small holds this many world-class wonders and wild plot twists, what other massive stories are hiding right now in the smallest parts of our map, just waiting for us to look a little closer?